The WNBA is spiraling out of control. Caitlin Clark just announced she's leaving America, and now the league is in full-blown meltdown. Foul play, racism accusations, assaults on court.
And now,
the league's biggest star is done. This is not just a player walking away, it's a revolution unfolding in real time. And the WNBA might not survive it.
She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said.
It started with a rumor, but then came the words fans never expected. Caitlin Clark is leaving the country. Reports say she's preparing for overseas commitments after a season marred by abuse, dirty fouls, and league silence.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
She was the WNBA's golden goose, the rookie that reignited the sport. Record ticket sales, national attention, jerseys flying off shelves. But when Clark needed the league to protect her, it failed. Completely.
Those guys, they're the racists, when really, y'all are the racists. The people coming up with excuses to hate Caitlin Clark and the new fan base that she brought.
Game after game, Clark took abuse most rookies never endure. In the playoffs, things went nuclear. DeWanna Bonner swiped at her face. Dejounte Carrington jabbed her in the eye. Chindy Carter elbowed her ribs, then body slammed her to the hardwood. Not one flagrant, not even a whistle.
Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
And then came Stephen A. Smith. The loudest voice in sports media exploded on national TV, accusing the WNBA of sabotage.
The most dominant team in the league. They can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals. They supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new big three? Dreamers, Liberals. 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota Lynx.
Then came the ugliest chapter of all. The narrative twisted. Critics accused Clark's fans and even Clark herself of benefiting from race.
But if you're not delivering the product and you're not making the revenue and you're not, giving people the entertainment that they want, then you're not going to make any money and your league is going to...
And then Cheryl Swoops, a Hall of Famer, joined the pylon. She didn't talk about Caitlin's historic rookie season. She mocked her fan base, her looks, even her impact.
She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah, and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality.
After carrying the league on her back, after taking every hit, every insult, every smear, Caitlin Clark finally said enough. Rumors now suggest she'll explore European leagues where stars are respected, protected, and paid what they're worth.
This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie.
Stephen A. doubled down days later. Let her walk, he shouted, because this league doesn't deserve her.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it. And
the WNBA bet everything on Caitlin Clark, but refused to protect her.
Now,
the collapse has already begun. Declining viewership, stars beefing online, locker rooms divided, and without Clark, the entire foundation is shaking.
And this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails and jab them right into the eye of Caitlin Clark. No foul call. No refs stopping the game to go, is this a flagrant? None of that. Just everybody moved on.
Social media exploded after the news. Fans furious, heartbroken. Thousands saying they're done with the league.
Your biggest star, your meal ticket, The reason why you have relevancy just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing.
Caitlin Clark's departure isn't the end, it's the warning. To every league, every team, every system that thinks it can use a star, then toss her aside.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
Let us know, did the WNBA fail Caitlin Clark? Is this league even worth saving? Drop your comments. Smash that like button. Subscribe for more explosive breakdowns. And don't miss the next chapter, because this story is far from over.
It's an attack on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's the wrong face for this league because her fans are so racist. Where have I heard this argument before? Oh, Donald Trump may be fine, but all the MAGA people, they're terrible. They're the deplorable.
Breaking news just rocked the WNBA to its core. Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest star and fan magnet, has shocked everyone by announcing she's leaving America. That's right. Just days after the Indiana Fever's playoff heartbreak, Clark has dropped a bomb that sent executives into a meltdown and left Stephen A. Smith absolutely speechless. What went wrong? And why is the WNBA panicking like it's the end of the world? Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about this league.
She's got 14,000 followers. And it's really easy to ignore, and most people don't know who she is in the sports world. The only reason why people even know who she is because of Caitlin Clark. And she still only got 14,000 followers on Twitter. She doesn't have much of a brand.
September 26th, 2024. Just 2 days after the Fever were knocked out of the playoffs, Caitlin Clark made it official. She's leaving the WNBA and taking her talents to Europe. Fans? Stunned. Executives? Panicking. And for the league? This was an extinction-level event. In her words, she needed a break from the mental exhaustion, the dirty hits, and the league's failure to protect her. I felt abandoned, she told ESPN. And she wasn't wrong.
Because it's Caitlin Clark and she can't do that game.
Let's rewind. Caitlin Clark came into the league as a phenom. She sold out arenas, broke viewership records, and single-handedly revived a dying sport. But instead of celebration, she was met with elbows, eye gouges, and a complete lack of respect. Remember that brutal flagrant by Dejounte Carrington? Or when Chindy Carter straight-up body-slammed her and walked away without a whistle? Clark kept getting up, but the league kept looking the other way.
I'm simply saying the issue is about marketing versus basketball. The merits of playing basketball compared to the merits of bringing marketing into the equation to influence potential decisions.
Even Stephen A. Smith couldn't hold back. Your meal ticket is under attack, he said live on ESPN. You let this happen, Kathy Engelbert. In a fiery rant, Smith called out the entire WNBA for failing to protect their biggest star. You don't deserve Caitlin Clark, he shouted. And honestly, millions of fans agreed.
There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way.
But this wasn't just about basketball. Sheryl Swoopes, a WNBA legend, went on record to say the only reason Clark was getting this attention was because she's a white woman in a black-dominated league. Let that sink in. After dropping 26 points in the playoffs and drawing 17,000 fans per game, she was still being told she didn't belong. Even Alyssa Thomas said the hype was just marketing. No mention of her record-breaking play. Just race.
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
The numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark was the golden goose. Indiana Fever led the league in attendance. Broadcasters begged to air her games. Her jersey outsold everyone, rookie or veteran. And now, sponsors are walking. Viewership is falling. Ticket prices are plummeting. Without Clark, the league is staring into the abyss. Clark's next move? Europe. Sources say she's finalizing a deal with Fenerbahce, the Turkish powerhouse that's offered multi-million-dollar contracts to WNBA stars in the past. And here's the kicker: she'll be treated like royalty over there. Charter flights, security, guaranteed starts. The kind of treatment she never got in the WNBA. Fans are torn. Some blame Clark for walking away. Others say she had to protect her body, her mind, her legacy. And the league? It's scrambling. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is holding emergency meetings, but the damage may already be done. Because the truth is, the WNBA didn't just lose a player. They lost their only superstar. Caitlin Clark built this league back up, and the league failed her. Now the WNBA's biggest star is gone, and with her, maybe the league's future. What happens next? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same. Caitlin Clark's decision to walk away from the WNBA and leave America wasn't just a personal turning point. It was a full-blown reckoning for the entire league. In just a single season, she carried the weight of $1 billion brand on her shoulders, breaking records, smashing barriers, and dragging women's basketball into a global spotlight it had never seen before. She sold out arenas coast to coast, made Indiana Fever one of the most watched franchises in sports, and transformed every game she touched into a primetime spectacle. And yet, in return, she was met with resistance, jealousy, and silence. Her rookie campaign became a battlefield, one where she was repeatedly fouled hard, disrespected publicly, and subjected to racially charged criticism that no other rookie in history had faced. Opponents like Chindi Carter and Dejonai Carrington weren't just playing tough defense. They were taking open shots at her body and her face. Candace Parker and Alyssa Thomas indirectly accused her of being a media creation, built more by marketing than by merit. Cheryl Swoops, a four-time WNBA champion, said outright that Clark only rose to fame because she fit a white, blonde image that America could rally behind. Yet none of these accusations erase the truth. Caitlin Clark outplayed them all. She wasn't just good, she was generational. But the league she sacrificed for didn't protect her. The referees turned a blind eye, the officials stayed silent, and the veterans tore her down rather than lift her up. What's worse, instead of condemning the violence and verbal attacks she endured, the WNBA let it fester, prioritizing politics over principle. Stephen A. Smith called it out plainly. Your golden ticket is under constant attack, and you're letting it happen. And now, that ticket is gone. Clark's departure to Europe, announced just 2 days after her playoff exit, sent shockwaves through the basketball world and left the WNBA in freefall. Sponsorship deals are evaporating. Attendance numbers are plummeting. TV ratings are down. Even local businesses in Indiana, once booming on Clark's game nights, are feeling the void. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse that roared with 18,000 fans for Clark is now quiet again. Her exit isn't just a headline, it's a verdict. A verdict on how the WNBA misjudged its moment. Instead of building around its biggest asset, it allowed bitterness and bias to destroy the very foundation she built. And now, as Clark prepares to dominate on European soil, where she'll earn triple the salary, enjoy greater protection, and play the game without fear, the league she left behind is scrambling. Scrambling for answers, for talent, for relevance. Caitlin Clark didn't just leave the WNBA. She exposed its deepest cracks. And unless something radical changes, her absence might just be the beginning of the league's slow and painful collapse. Caitlin Clark, once hailed as the savior of the WNBA, has now become the symbol of everything the league failed to protect. In a move that blindsided the basketball world, Clark announced her decision to leave America and sign with a European team, reportedly Fenerbahce, barely 2 days after her Indiana Fever team was knocked out of the playoffs. Her exit wasn't just a career decision. It was a loud, defiant response to a system that used her stardom but refused to defend her. Clark, who shattered viewership records and sold out arenas across the country during her rookie season, was the lifeblood of the league's historic growth. She averaged over 15,000 fans per game, drew 1.8 million viewers for regular season matchups, and single-handedly elevated the Fever into one of the most watched franchises in professional women's sports. But behind the glamour was a disturbing reality. The WNBA repeatedly failed to protect her from the physical violence, racial attacks, and public humiliation she endured on and off the court. From being assaulted by opponents like Chindi Carter and Dejonai Carrington, with no fouls called, to being the target of racially charged comments by WNBA veterans like Cheryl Swoops and Alyssa Thomas, Clark's journey was marred by double standards and unchecked aggression. Swoops, instead of applauding Clark's brilliance, suggested she only gained attention because she was a blonde, blue-eyed white girl, while Thomas accused Clark's rise of being rooted in racial favoritism. These were not fringe voices, they were legends of the sport, undermining the league's brightest rising star based on appearance and background rather than her undeniable talent. And while all this unfolded publicly, the WNBA leadership, especially Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, remained conspicuously silent, offering no public condemnation, no suspension for repeated flagrant fouls against Clark, and no protection for a player who is literally their financial lifeline. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith exploded in outrage, calling the league's inaction a disgrace and warning that they had allowed their golden goose to be sacrificed in the name of petty politics and envy. And now, the league is paying the price. With Caitlin Clark gone, ticket sales have nosedived, viewership is crashing, and sponsors, who flocked to her name, are already pulling out. Indiana Fever's once-packed Gainbridge Fieldhouse is now reportedly struggling to fill seats. Local businesses that benefited from game day booms are watching foot traffic dry up. And perhaps worst of all, the very credibility of the WNBA is being questioned worldwide. Clark's move to Europe wasn't just about a paycheck. It was about sanity, respect, and survival. In European leagues, she'll earn more, be protected by stricter officiating, and play in an environment that values talent over division. For fans, this is heartbreaking. For the WNBA, it's catastrophic. And for players who once saw her as just a media product, the reality is dawning too late. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a player. She was the league's foundation. Now that she's gone, the WNBA isn't just missing its biggest star. It's facing a collapse of everything she helped build. The damage is not only financial, it's cultural, emotional, and possibly irreversible. The league didn't just lose Caitlin Clark. It lost the trust of millions who believed in the dream she stood for.